This individual was a known human smuggler, a MS-13 gang member, an individual who was a wife beater, and someone who was so perverted that he solicited nude photos from minors, and even his fellow human traffickers told him to knock it off.
Ain't nothing changed, nothing new here to see. This ain't nothing but some political maneuvering. America, welcome to the eulogy, eat it up. It's called political buffoonery.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to This Week in DUMBmocracy, where we showcase some of the dumbest news makers of the week. We're getting back to normal here, just like you guys are after a long Labor Day weekend. Hope you guys enjoyed the summer, and I'm glad that you're back here with us. Today, we're talking about some more media buffoonery, because we're not just getting back to normal. The media is also getting back to normal. Today's offenders that we're going to be talking about is CBS. Now, CBS has been in the news recently. Let's just say they haven't had the best record with the truth when it comes to President Trump and his administration. You may recall back in 2020, that 60 Minutes interview with Leslie Stahl talking about the Biden laptop, Hunter Biden and all that, and how that turned out to be a lot of misinformation and disinformation.
Flashback.
You know, this is 60 Minutes, and we can't put on things we can't verify.
You won't put it on because it's bad for Biden.
We can't put on things we can't verify.
Leslie.
I think it's one of the biggest scandals I've ever seen, and you don't cover it. You want to talk about...
Well, because it can't be verified.
You want to talk about insignificant things.
I'm telling you.
Of course it can be verified. Excuse me, they found the laptop. Leslie.
Can't be verified.
What can't be verified?
The laptop.
End of flashback.
More recently, we saw selective editing during the 2024 campaign when it came to another 60 Minutes interview with former Vice President Kamala Harris.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
That resulted in a settlement of $16 million in Trump's favor. And now, over the weekend, you'd be forgiven if you didn't watch what Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem calls a whitewashing of the truth when being questioned about Kilmar Abrego Garcia and recent news concerning his latest detainment by immigration officials. We're going to be talking about all that, and I'm going to let you guys know, of course, about our new sponsor, Freedom Chat. But before we get to all that, I'm going to ask you guys to please subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other shows. And if you like what you're seeing here in this or any other video on this channel, smash that thumbs up button like you do normally. Be sure to like, comment, share the show with your friends, all that really, really good stuff, because all that's going to help the channel grow thanks to the YouTube algorithm. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem went on a tirade after this interview on X, talking about how CBS whitewashed the truth and selectively edited her interview about alleged MS-13 gang member Kilmar Abrego Garcia. You may know him as the Maryland man, that Maryland dad that Democrats like to defend. He's an illegal migrant that the Trump administration deported to El Salvador earlier this year. They brought him back. He was brought up on criminal charges in Tennessee concerning trafficking, and he's now back in custody for immigration matters and to be deported, I believe, to Uganda, of all places. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at the broadcast edit of CBS Face the Nation concerning this question about Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and then we're going to look at what Kristi Noem provided on her X account and see how it differs. Face the Nation does get significant viewership on Sunday mornings, averages over 2 million viewers per week. So this is a big deal when there's an accusation about selectively editing a segment. Let's see what went out for air from CBS.
One of the most high-profile examples of someone who's been rounded up by ICE in recent months is Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and the fate of his situation is still up in the air. He's awaiting trial on human smuggling charges set for January in Tennessee. But your department's also working to get him deported to Uganda. If he broke the law in this country, as the administration alleges, shouldn't he be held here and face charges here instead of being deported?
Well, prosecution decisions are always made by the Department of Justice and Pam Bondi's department, so we will let them do that. Although this individual does have criminal charges pending, he has charges pending against him civilly as well. And the one thing that we will continue to do is to make sure that he doesn't walk free in the United States of America.
But I heard you say that we're going to let the Justice Department do that. Does that mean the push to deport him to Uganda is off?
Oh, we will still continue to pursue all options.
Okay.
We will make sure that he's not released into this country. So regardless of that, yes, absolutely. He's not an American citizen and he shouldn't be here. And especially because of his dangerous criminal activities, we should ensure that we leave every avenue on the table.
Got it.
So without seeing what was quote unquote left out, we really can't tell if something's been whitewashed or not, right? So what we're going to have to do is compare this to whatever Kristi Noem has to show what the difference is. And our friends at the Media Research Center sort of spliced everything together to show exactly what was cut out in its proper context. It might feel like deja vu for a little bit, but I think you're going to see the difference as we look at the, I guess we'll call it the raw cut of this CBS Face the Nation interview.
One of the most high-profile examples of someone who's been rounded up by ICE in recent months is Kilmar Abrego Garcia, and the fate of his situation is still up in the air. He's awaiting trial on human smuggling charges set for January in Tennessee. But your department's also working to get him deported to Uganda. If he broke the law in this country, as the administration alleges, shouldn't he be held here and face charges here instead of being deported?
Well, prosecution decisions are always made by the Department of Justice and Pam Bondi's department, so we will let them do that. Although this individual does have criminal charges pending, he has charges pending against him civilly as well. And the one thing that we will continue to do is to make sure that he doesn't walk free in the United States of America. This individual was a known human smuggler, MS-13 gang member, an individual who was a wife beater, and someone who was so perverted that he solicited nude photos from minors. And even his fellow human traffickers told him to knock it off. He was so sick in what he was doing and how he was treating small children. So he needs to never be in the United States of America, and our administration is making sure we're doing all that we can to bring him to justice.
But I heard you say that we're going to let the Justice Department do that. Does that mean the push to deport him to Uganda is off?
Oh, we will still continue to pursue all options.
Okay.
We will make sure that he's not released into this country. So regardless of that, yes, absolutely. He's not an American citizen and he shouldn't be here. And especially because of his dangerous criminal activities, we should ensure that we leave every avenue on the table.
Got it.
Oh, yeah, I think we got it. Clearly, Noem was cut off from giving proper context to why Kilmar Abrego Garcia needs to be deported. That part was totally cut off. In fact, looking at the quote-unquote raw cut here provided by Noem as interspersed into the clip by Media Research Center, you can kind of see where that cut was made. It was made when she was talking about Kilmar Abrego Garcia's really, really bad acts that landed him in trouble with immigration officials, how he's a known smuggler of people, how he's a reputed gang member of MS-13, how he's an individual who has a history of domestic violence, and some really, really bad stuff about kids that I'm not going to repeat here.
Why? Why would you do this?
Now, CBS did go on to say, in a response to the post from an unnamed rep, that, quote, Secretary Noem's Face the Nation interview was edited for time and met all CBS News standards. The entire interview is publicly available on YouTube, and the full transcript was posted early Sunday morning at cbsnews.com. Is that good enough? Let's talk about that, as well as what we know about media hacks right after the break. Like what you see so far? Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show. Before we get to some more analysis of this video, I want to talk to everybody about Freedom Chat. Freedom Chat is a next-generation messaging app that keeps your conversations private. Now, I know a lot of people out there say the same thing, but at Freedom Chat, they actually mean it. Freedom Chat does not track your data. They don't sell your data. They don't allow people to screenshot. There's no linked devices. It's just total freedom and security the way it should be. Freedom Chat features end-to-end encryption, no storage of messages on any server, and no commercial use of your data. Now, if you're anything like me and you're surfing the web all the time, those are pretty important things, because I see whenever I click on a web page, I see it shows up in my social media as an ad later on, and it just is a reminder to me that I'm getting tracked all the time. Freedom Chat doesn't do that. That's why I've partnered with Freedom Chat to create a Buffoon of the Week channel on there, where you'll not only get behind-the-scenes stuff from all the shows we produce, but we'll get to create a community that is away from the prying eyes of big data and all of the things that come with it. So, folks, get on your phones right now. Download the Freedom Chat app. It's available right now for iPhone and Android. Trust me, you won't regret it. And don't forget to subscribe to Buffoon of the Week on Freedom Chat. We have a lot of fun on there. I'm looking forward to interacting with you there as well. Go to freedomchat.com for more information about their end-to-end encryption and all the nerdy and wonky stuff you ever wanted to know about cybersecurity. It's a new day dawning for your messaging, and Freedom Chat is leading the way. Whenever we talk about media hackery like this, I always like to bring up that there's a whole chapter about it in my book, Schnooks, Crooks, Liars, and Scoundrels, a field guide to identifying political buffoons, that's available right now on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, and other online bookstores.
This guy is a grifter!
So one of the things I did in the book was create little scientific names for each type of buffoon that we identify, sort of like the species name that we give, the scientific name for animals and stuff, in true field guide fashion. So the media hack is Buffoonicus adnusium. They're willing to disregard the journalist's ethos by purposely skewing their own reporting in favor of a partisan view, an aesthetic fallacy, as it were, a beautiful narrative, whereby they put themselves into the story, they make themselves the news themselves, like CBS has been doing here, and whereby they cater to their audience to tell them what they want to hear. CBS News knows that their 2.5 million viewers don't want a regurgitation of all the bad things that Kilmar Abrego Garcia has done. They want him to be that Maryland man that is being persecuted by the Trump administration, that's being hounded by immigration officials, that's being wronged by society. That's the aesthetic fallacy, the beautiful narrative they want to push. By Kristi Noem going on CBS Face the Nation and putting it all out there, talking about his history of domestic violence, his history of human trafficking, his history of being a gang member, his history of doing really, really icky, disgusting things vis-a-vis children. Nobody on that side of the aisle opposite Donald Trump wants to hear about that. So therefore, they cut it for time in order to fit the interview into their narrative. That's what's going on here. This is pure narrative control. Now, the question becomes, who at CBS is responsible for this edit? Is it Ed O'Keefe himself, the person who was doing the interviewing? Is it some other producer of Face the Nation? I don't know, but here's what I do know. By Kristi Noem putting this out on the same day, but later in the afternoon on Sunday, she was able to get a lot of eyes on this selective editing, this whitewash of the truth. Kristi Noem's post got, as the filming of this video, 4.7 million views on X alone. That's not to say all the other views by people like me picking it up and aggregating it and signal boosting it. It could be well into the multiples of millions from there. Meanwhile, the YouTube clip of the segment here, it's gotten about 88, 89,000 views as of the creation of this video. So Noem kind of gets the W here when you think about it. She was able to get this selective edit issue out into the public more so than the original broadcast of about 2.5 million on average for CBS's Face the Nation. She got it out there more on social media than CBS has gotten it out on social media. And this is now another black eye for CBS and their news division.
Oh no! We suck again!
Why is CBS so allergic to the truth? Why does CBS want to force a narrative down everybody's throats? I think CBS and other agencies like it, other news agencies like it, they need to come to a hard realization here. And that is after, almost a decade now of the Trump era. We're on to the game. We're all on to the game. It started out with a lot of media savvy people on social media kind of screaming into the wind. And as people like James O'Keefe and others got out there exposing the narrative, exposing the incestuous relationship between government and media, exposing these hacks for who they are, I think the worm started to turn, momentum started to shift, and we saw from, I guess, the Biden era, because people were so upset that Trump lost, that the pushback increased exponentially over time. People got tired of the woke narratives. People got tired of narratives in general. And now we're at the point where narrative busting has become a near regular occurrence.
Busting makes me feel good.
CBS News just went through a whole situation where they were sued over selective editing. And they had to pay a hefty sum for it. And now here they are again, supposedly turning over a new leaf. And they're getting their hand caught in the cookie jar one more time. Bravo to Kristi Noem for catching them again. Bravo for the people on social media for challenging the narratives out there, the aesthetic fallacies that are out there. And bravo to people like you who are signal boosting it and getting it out beyond the bounds of social media and getting into print media and other digital media out there so that it goes far and wide, that the days of media-controlled narratives is hopefully coming to an end. But hey, listen, that's just my opinion on this whole situation. I want to know what you think about this latest example of media hackery exposed by the Trump administration. Do you guys think that the momentum is now on the side of, I guess you want to call it the right? I like to call it the side of the angels, the people who are standing for truth in broadcasting, truth in media. Has that momentum shifted to the other side? Or is this just another example of the momentum continuing to shift, but we're not quite there yet? Hit me up in the comments. Let's discuss this video, as well as all the other shenanigans and buffoonery that happen every day this week in DUMBmocracy.
All views and opinions expressed here are not necessarily of the mainstream media and may offend some listeners. It's called political buffoonery.